I said I would do this once the Black Ops 7 Zombies beta had finished, give my final impressions before the game comes out next month. We haven't had the whole experience, just the survival mode, but based off what we've played, how good do I think Black Ops 7 Zombies is and is going to be, because the gameplay isn't going to change now. We still have some crucial systems locked, such as the augments, but the feel of the game will stay the same. So what are my final thoughts and opinions on BO7 Zombies? And there's a lot to go through. My emotions with this have really been up and down, mainly because I've experienced quite a bit of lag and low ping with this. It's nothing to do with my internet. I've got 500 down, 50 up. This is purely to do with Call of Duty and it always being online now. I rarely experienced this in BO6 and Cold War Zombies. They were always online games too for Zombies. So I'm assuming it was a beta problem with so many people trying to play the game at once. But I did experience quite a few games where I was just jumping all over the place. When that wasn't happening though, and I could have a regular game of zombies, I actually had quite a good time. Starting off with the map, it's basic, this is farm. It's not exactly like its original version in BO2's Transit. In fact, I would say it's quite different and doesn't really feel the same. Yes, you can tell it's inspired by that. It's got the barn, it's got the farmhouse, but it's a little bit bigger. The areas do feel more spacious. There is now an underground section. The map itself, for what it is, for the survival mode, is solid. I'll be honest, back in BO2, farm was my least favourite area, but what they've done with it here, reducing the fog, I think has drastically helped. This is a good, solid survival map. And speaking about survival, what a great idea. Yes, it's nothing new, and it's easy for the devs to do because the map's already made. All they've got to do is split it up into smaller sections and say, hey, there's a survival map for you to play. But playing it does feel like good old classic zombies to a certain point. So yeah, the map and the mode, it's not something you're going to play all of the time and you're not supposed to. It's not the main game mode, it's if you want a smaller and harder game of zombies with less content, and it does a good job at that. I will say the Ravengers, because of how fast they are and small, are extremely annoying. It's so easy for them to get under your feet and you not be able to see them. For 10 of them to gang up on you as quickly as possible, these are way more annoying than the Denizens. It's probably wrong to compare the two because they don't work in the same way, they just remind me of one another. But them being super annoying for the first time in a long time means the trap actually feels useful and is a necessity. How this will play out in the bigger Ashes of the Dam map, I don't know, but for survival, there is this one trap, which I think is super OP, but is crucial for getting through those higher rounds. You just turn it on, the zombies are attracted to it, and it chops them down like the trap in, I think it was Blood of the Dead. It works in almost the same way. We had traps in Black Ops 6, Black Ops Cold War, every zombies game, but I haven't felt that traps have been useful really since Black Ops 4, since zombies became easier when they switched to this modern gameplay in Black Ops Cold War. Yes, you could use them if you wanted to get to high rounds, but because the armor system makes zombies so easy, they didn't really feel like they had to be there. However, in this game, or at least in this survival mode, the trap is super important. Whether you're using it just to get through those higher rounds quicker, whether you're using it to get through a Ravager round straight away because this will take all of them out, or whether you're using it as a distraction for the zombies to focus on the Zombear, as I want to call it, not Zersa. Yeah, this is the first time in the modern zombies era that I felt traps are actually important again. As I've just said, the Ravengers do get annoying, but the trap takes them out, so that's that problem gone. And Zersa, I've seen a lot of people saying this enemy is annoying and a bullet sponge. Two things I can definitely agree with, but I don't think it's quite to the point where it's impossible. I do kind of wish the projectiles, the bees, weren't a thing, but having got up to round 50, which is a relatively high round, it takes a couple of hours to get there, I wasn't frustrated coming up against the bear, or should I say bears because sometimes it's two, every other round. Although I will say, yes, they are a bit too bullet spongy, so perhaps reduce their health a little bit, or make the weapons more powerful. That was another huge complaint I've been seeing. I've watched a few people live stream the mode at this point, and I saw so many people in the comments as well as the host saying all of the guns feel weak. Now, again, having played it for myself and getting up to round 50, I have to agree. To a certain extent, as you can see from the gameplay, I feel like I'm still killing the zombies fast enough relative to the round I'm on. None of the guns feel super overpowered. I am wondering if this is going to change when we have loadouts and we are able to upgrade the augments as well. Starting off on those early rounds, your grey rarity unpack-a-punch weapons are going to feel weak, but they do feel slightly weaker than what they did in Black Ops 6 or Black Ops Cold War. Then again, if I'm not wrong, Treyarch themselves have said that they increased the health of the zombies. And that's been a huge complaint, right? We've all been saying modern zombies is just way too easy, with armor, with augments, with you being able to mantle over everything. There's no challenge here. And now that it does take more bullets to kill the zombies, it does seem like it takes longer to get through those rounds. That doesn't necessarily make the game harder per se. I mean, this game right here, this was my first attempt to get to round 50 and I did it. Back in the older days, World at War, Black Ops 1, 2, 3, 4, there is not a single chance I would reach round 50 on my first game. I would have to learn all of these strategies first. However, here in Black Ops 7, I did it. The game's still super easy, so to me at least, Treyarch haven't made it any more difficult by making the guns weaker. It does just mean it takes you a little bit longer to get through the rounds. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. I guess you want to find the perfect balance, right? Although I've seen loads of complaints about it, just from my experience, I didn't feel that much weaker to the point where it was either harder or just boring. It was still just okay. And actually, there is another major positive that comes along with this. I don't know if this has got anything to do with the fact that loadouts just aren't really a thing in the beta. Yes, they exist, but there are still so many things locked. I didn't get to use my own loadout properly in the beta as I probably would in the released version of the game. But I want to say, for the first time since Black Ops 4, I was actually using the mystery box and wall weapons. Even in games like this, I loaded in with an assault rifle. It wasn't brilliant, which forced me to spin the mystery box because there were better weapons in there than the one I had. Now again, if I can just load into the game with the best weapon in the game already, then perhaps I just won't be spinning the mystery box as much when it comes out in November. But right now at least, it felt good to have to actually use the mystery box again. And another thing I was noticing is I was getting a lot of weapons from it that were way higher rarity than the one I was holding, which again made me want to spin the mystery box to get a gold weapon. Because weapon rarities are expensive this time around, Treyarch have increased the amount of salvage you need, it was just easier for me to spin the mystery box to attempt to get a gold weapon that way, instead of waiting 10, 15, 20 rounds to save up enough salvage to upgrade the weapon I'm already holding to that gold rarity. I could just get a weapon that was perhaps maybe a little less powerful, but already of gold rarity from the mystery box. So I really like that as well, because that's been a major complaint over modern day zombies. Loadouts just meant the mystery box and wall weapons were useless now. There was no need for them, but in the beta at least, even though the main wonder weapon wasn't in the box, I probably spawn it more times than I have over the past 5 or 6 years. I just hope that continues when the full game releases. The only wonder weapon in the box, which is technically what it is, was the ray gun. I think the Mark 1 and the Mark 2, although I only ever saw the Mark 2. Honestly, it wasn't that powerful. To be fair, I didn't have it upgraded to Pack-a-Punch level 3 because ammo is so damn expensive. But the Mark 2 ray gun was fine, it was useful for taking out Zersa. And I think that's where I have to come on to a lot of the negatives. The first one being the Doppelgast. Now, I knew this was in the game because I saw it on Twitter, but I can't imagine the person who wasn't aware the Doppelgast existed and they got up to round 41 and all of a sudden just saw it spawned into the map. I would have loved to have seen that reaction. I will say, whilst the Doppelgast is probably one of the better enemies we've seen over the past year or so in Black Ops 6, at the end of the day, we were promised, I'm pretty sure, that Black Ops 7 would not contain any recycled enemies, yet here we are. Granted, it's on round 41, a lot of people probably won't even reach that round, and the Doppelgast itself compared to the Amalgam or the Manglers is relatively easy to take out. They don't have annoying attacks apart from them being really fast and much health. They're easy to take out, but I still have to ask, why? Why not just not add them at all? The game is fine with Ravengers, the Bear, and the Zombies. That's enough enemies. The Doppelgast just doesn't need to be in here. Another complaint I have to get out of the way, and this is more so Treyarch's fault, not ours, is the HUD. Now, we all know the HUD in Black Ops 7 Zombies looks disgusting, but we also know that there are themed HUDs in BO7 Zombies. The problem is, as of right now in the beta, we are not able to use them, so we're still stuck with this ugly default HUD. And whilst Treyarch have fixed this with themed HUDs, well, we can't see them right now. We're still not able to use them, so how are we meant to give any praise when we can't use them? And more so, I would say, well, why are they not the default HUD? Why is one of those 10 themed HUDs that they have in the game that you can pick just not the default HUD anyway? Why have they just copied and pasted the one from multiplayer? I've said this before, but a lot of people who just don't use Twitter, who don't look at Treyarch's blogs or don't watch YouTube videos, probably won't even know those themed hoods exist in Zombies, so they're going to be stuck with the default one, which is a drawback. I just can't understand the reasoning for them making this the default hood when themed ones exist that look miles better than this. And even then I've got to say, why is there not a unique hood for Black Ops 7 Zombies? If Treyarch can just go out of their way and create 10 hoods that a lot of people won't even know about, then it's clearly really easy for them to do, yet for some reason Black Ops 7 Zombies still doesn't have its own unique hood as a default. I mean, aside from that, I forgot to mention this earlier, the pause timer still exists. That is just a part of modern Zombies now with the game being online. It's going to happen. Yes, it's really annoying only being able to pause for 15 minutes, but at least you can save, so it's not as bad as it could be. And then coming down to the last point, which I've got to be honest, with all of the good things I've said, still, this doesn't feel like a new game. I'm not talking about the map, I'm not talking about the enemies, just the way the game actually feels to play is very much like Black Ops 6, with the augments, with the perks, with the weapons, with the Omni movement. Granted, you can now jump off walls. From what I've played so far, that's something I'm rarely ever going to be doing in Zombies. But the way the game feels and looks to a certain extent, graphically, not the art design, of course it's a different looking map, does feel like this very much could be Black Ops 6 DLC. And I don't think this is 100% an issue with Zombies, because the feeling of Black Ops 6 and Black Ops Cold War I don't think are that different. Every game since COD HQ has just felt more or less the same compared to before that existed. If you look at the difference between World at War and Black Ops 1, there is a big jump there. World at War was so clunky. If you don't believe me, go back and play it. Black Ops 1 Zombies, although there wasn't a huge jump graphically, it felt a lot smoother and more refined. Black Ops 2 Zombies, there wasn't as much as a jump for me, but they still felt like completely new different games. The jump between BO2 and 3 Zombies was the biggest. Black Ops 3 and 4 Zombies felt different. You know that because everybody hates Black Ops 4, whereas BO3 was considered the peak, one of the best. But ever since COD HQ and the introduction of the modern zombie systems, what I mean by that is the armor, salvage, upgradable perks, each game has felt more or less similar. Now I will say there is a difference in Cold War and Black Ops 6, but Black Ops 6 and 7 Zombies feel very similar. If Ashes of the Damned or this survival map released on Black Ops 6, I wouldn't be any the wiser. I would just say, okay, this is another map on that game. This, for the first time for me, actually doesn't really feel like a new Zombies game. It feels like an addition of Black Ops 6, which is probably good if you enjoyed that game, but at the same time, even if you did, well, this is a new game. You would want one that feels different, right? You don't want to be paying $70 for a new game that doesn't feel like it. The fact that armor and salvage still exists really doesn't help the situation. I've said it ever since Cold War, armor shouldn't be in Zombies, and I'm still saying it now. It's just unnecessary. It just feels really out of place. At the end of the day, what is it there to do? Increase your health? Well, we've got things such as Juggernog for that, and then upgradable augments. To me, there is still no need for it, and it's probably part of the reason why all of these modern games feel similar. Salvage is another one. Yes, it's your currency to upgrade things, but surely they could come up with something at least more unique to Zombies, a system specifically designed for Zombies or themed around it. It also feels out of place. With all of the good things about this, I don't think there's anything inherently bad, but it isn't much more than Black Ops 6 2.0. It's not a new game. It doesn't feel like it. And when you understand the development cycle, the fact that this was developed at the exact same time as BO6, alongside one another, that would explain it. And is part of the reason why I'm playing a new Zombies game and I don't feel that excited about the gameplay. The storyline I'm really interested in, and I can't wait to see what Easter eggs are in the game, but as far as playing it goes, I just didn't really see any wow factor. Nothing that got me off my feet or intrigued me, because I felt like I'd played it before. I got the same level of excitement as I do a new Zombies map, which is a lot, but not as much as I should get for a new Zombies game. So yeah, I think I'll leave that one there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.